What's up everyone, my name is Ron from Comics and Stuff, and for today's episode, we are going over the new Mythic Legions BOREUS Horse. Now, the horse does come in a clear window box cover as you guys can see, but I wanted to point out that this package is like covered with cool artwork. Underneath you see the countryside and stuff, and it does have a theme. And that's light versus darkness, with the left hand side being the light, showing a nice majestic creature right there, and on the right being the darkness, showing a pretty evil looking horse, but underneath it, it does have a nice little profile of the Boreus figure. Heading to the top, there is a logo, and I'm thinking that means Four Horsemen. To the bottom, there is legalities, barcode, warnings, and heading to the back, more of that beautiful artwork. Now, this is my first Mythic Legions horse, so it's nice that they included a little summary of the lore. If you guys want to pause it, feel free to do that. But now that we went through the package and all of that, let's open it up and check out the horse. All right, and here is the BOREUS horse outside of the package. And guys, first impressions is that this is quite a large horse. I mean, super big. And we're going to do like, action figure comparisons with it later from various different lines. But for now, let's just measure him in. And we're going to measure him in like if he was an actual car vehicle or something. He got a length from snout to rear end at about 9 inches, as you guys could see. Now height from floor to the very top of his ear stands at about 8.5 more or less. So there's that. And width wise, he stands at about 3 inches. So yeah, like I said, he's got some size on him and everything like that. He only comes with one accessory, which is this free flowing kind of hair mane. I don't know what you call it, but it is rather sculpted nicely, and the feel to it makes it feel like dirt whatever the elements ran through it, and it's quite easy to pop off, guys. I mean, lower his head like that and take it off. There are pegs that line up in there, and yeah, that's not a bad look at all. Now, let's go with the look also, because this is beautiful, guys. Like I said, this is my first Mythic Legions, and I'm quite impressed. Now, I said before that this had a certain feel, but everything to this horse has a certain feel. Like, video doesn't really do it justice. I mean, the texture to the horse itself is smooth, but you could feel like if there was fur. And as you guys could see, it's done rather nicely. The saddle sculpted beautifully, and it does have some give, little give, but it's there. And it seems to be like everything is made out of the same material, at least I think, like the same plastic or whatever it is. The straps and the stirrups, but the stirrups, even though they're made of that same material and everything like that, it does have a different feel than the actual buckles and everything. The buckles and everything feel like leather. The paint is not missed at all in any of the parts. There is a nice wash to this fur underneath the saddle. And some of the parts of the saddle can be pegged off like this. But I suggest not to do these because it's a hassle putting them in. And the blanket could as well. Now, I do think that the saddle itself can be removed. Hold up. As you guys could see, I just don't want to do it because I like it with the saddle and I don't want to be stretching it out and anything like that. Look at that collar. Look at that collar, man. It got quite nice detail. Yeah. I'm pleasantly surprised with this horse. I mean, the nostrils look like actual horse nostrils. Those eyes look like they got some soul in them. And yeah, the hair on the hooves right here is nicely sculpted as well. Even the bottom part for the saddle There's a lot of detail. Look at the tail. Nice and free-flowing. It's a beautiful horse. It is a beautiful horse. A beautiful and large, majestic steed. I like, because this thing is huge. It's imposing. And they did a great job capturing that look. But does it move as good as it looks? Well, this bottom neck joint right here is a ball peg. I'm going to remove it so I could just show you guys. As you guys can see, I'll remove that collar piece too. That could be removed. And the ball peg is there. Click it back on. It does give you great movement going down. Going up is pretty much straight. But the tilt, yeah, the tilt is there. There is no rotation, slight rotation, if you guys are wondering. Now, the head could also be removed, and it is a ball peg. And up is pretty much that. Down, it does give you some range. Let's put that right back on. I'm like, all right, down, it does give you some range. And there is some tilt as well as some turn. So that's good. My one complaint, guys, is that there is no torso articulation. So that's my only real complaint with this horse. But let's go to the front limbs to show you what articulation is there. It comes in a hinge, that first joint. So it gives you great forward, great, based on the anatomy of a horse. You do get some swivel, but it's impeded some by the sculpt. However, over here on the second joint, you do get nice hinge movement, and the swivel part goes basically all around. And for the hoof, yeah, there we go. There is hinge action, and there is swivel action. Now, for the back legs, I wanted to show guys that it does come in ball joints, so you do get a nice little spread if you want, and you could bring them in close if you want. And the movement back and forth, great range, guys, great range. Now, this second joint, though, it's a little bit stuck, but yeah, it gives you great movement as well. And you do get some swivel just like the front legs, but it's impeded some. Now, hold up, let me get a better grip to this horse. Now, for this leg, there is a hinge. And again, great movement. Swivel does a wonderful job going everywhere. And for the heel, hoof, hinge action, and swivel movement. Now, when it comes to the tail, there is also hinge action and there is swivel movement. But some of the poses to the tail, sometimes, right now it's just making me look bad. And like sometimes it doesn't quite carry its own weight. But dang, does it look good. Now, I am anxious to see how other figures, action figures scale next to it, as well as other horses that I got. They're pretty much back there waiting. So, with that being said, let's head into the comparisons. Now, I don't got any Mythic Legions action figure in order to make a fair or good comparison with this Boreus horse, but I did come up with a nice little roster of different figures from various different lines in order for you guys to get a good sense of what looks good and what doesn't. Over here representing Figma, we got the Lana action figure. Next to her is Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe Classified series. Next to him is the animated series Cyclops representing Marvel Legends. And bookending them all is the McFarlane Toys White Knight / Batman. Alright, and first figure up is the Lana action figure from Figma. And since it's an import company action figure right here, they tend to run on the smaller scale. So I don't particularly think it looks good in front of the horse, but maybe it looks better once she's on top of the saddle. And over here she is on top of the saddle, and guys, I don't think it actually works. Like, it's not a good look. The stirrups are a bit far from her legs. Maybe I spoke too soon. It's still a little tad far off, but still. It's a Grand Majestic beast, so maybe it'll work. And for our next comparison, here we have the G.I. Joe Classified series Snake Eyes. Like I said, guys, it's a big majestic steed. I actually don't think this is a bad look. So let's see how he looks like on top of the horse. And here we have Snake Eyes on top of the BOREUS horse, guys. And I gotta say, I dig it. I like how this look turned out. His feet are exactly where the stirrups are. So I like it. Let's head into our next comparison. And here we have the X-Men animated series Cyclops in front of the BOREUS horse. And just like Snake Eyes, I think this looks good. And now here he is on top of the horse. And just like Snake Eyes, this looks good as well, guys. And here we have the White Knight Batman from McFarlane Toys. Now, I know it's not the Batman, you know, the correct Batman to be using with a horse. You know the one, the Dark Knight, that ironically enough is part of a Build-A-Horse wave. Man, I really should be completing that. Now I'm actually thinking about it. But anyway, nonetheless, I'm babbling. I still think this Batman looks good in front of it. In fact, I think it's the best looking figure in front of the horse thus far. And yeah, guys, I think even once he's on top of the horse, it doesn't change the fact that this Batman is looking rather good. Yeah, I think it scales lovely. I mean, you guys let me know down in the comments what you think about it. All right, and for this part, I just wanted to do a couple of offhand comparisons with a couple of steel horses. I mean, we got the Harley Davidson 1/12 scale by Maestro right there on the left, and the WWE Slam Cycle right there on the right. Now, the Slam Cycle, I do think looks good. I mean, it's large enough to ride side by side, you know? But over here, the Maestro, I think it's a bit tiny. I mean, Boreus is pretty much overpowering it. All right, and for our final comparison, over here we have it next to a couple of $5 Breyer horses from Five Below. Now, I do think that for $5, it makes it a great accessory for this Mythic Legions. It makes it look like these are the henchman horses, and this right here is the boss's horse, you know? Now, I'm gonna point some stuff out. With this one, I did use the McFarlane Toys Build-A-Horse saddle. I only got the Joker from that wave, so thankfully he did come with the saddle. I used some cloth over here for some cushion because it's a little oversized. As you guys can see, Cyclops can't quite reach the stirrups. Now for this one, it's a work in progress. I mean, I did make this saddle myself using Dollar Tree materials and all that. I do gotta paint the stirrups a nice silver. And I gotta make this strap a little longer. But for the purpose of just, yeah, comparing it with this Mythic Legions right here, what do you guys think? I mean, I think it looks good. And for $5, you can't really go wrong. So in conclusion, I gotta say that all the praise that comes with a Mythic Legions horse is well earned. I mean, everything about the horse is pretty much high quality. Such a nice gradient on the horse itself. The sculpt is beautiful. The paint job is well applied. So for $80, I think it's actually a good buy. I mean, I enjoy it. If you guys are interested in it, I will leave a link down in the descriptions. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe, and tell me what you guys think about it. My name is Ron from Comics and Stuff, and I'll check you guys on the next episode. Peace.